Okay, this is episode 4 of this VGC Regulation G ladder Nuzlocke. As always, credit to Alex and Adi from the YouTube channel CK49 because I got this idea by watching them do it first. And quick refresher on the parameters of this challenge. I have started laddering on the Best-of-1 ladder on a fresh account with the goal of getting to 1500. I started with Mewtwo, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Rapid Strike Urshifu. All of them are dead now, though I have gotten another Urshifu. And every time I win a battle, I randomly select one Pokemon from my opponent's team to add to my team. It has to be the same species and form, but I can do whatever I want for the set. And I do have to add it to my team right then. If I already have 6 Pokemon, I send one to the box. These Pokemon in the box can be called up to replace members of my team if I lose a Pokemon. The way that I lose a Pokemon is if I lose a game. I randomly select one of the Pokemon on my team to be gone forever. The challenge ends when I reach a rating of 1500. That's a success, or I run out of Pokemon. That's a failure. And for the sake of breaking up these episodes, this episode will end when I either reach a rating of 1300, my first time hitting that increment of 100 since the challenge started, or I lose 6 Pokemon within the episode, the equivalent of a party wiping. That's how the last episode ended, and I do still have room to do that again, just barely, but let's hope it doesn't happen here. I'm going to make one quick team change before I get on the ladder. I've been running Terra Fairy on Black Kyurem just because that's the one that's highest in the usage stats. But I was watching back the footage while I was editing, and the opponent that I took it from was actually running Terra Fire, which I think makes a lot of sense. It can't be burned. It does share the rock weakness, but it changes up some of the other weaknesses. Notably, it turns Behemoth Blade and Behemoth Bash into resisted attacks. But yeah, this is the team right now. I have this my new Rapid Strike Urshifu. I guess I didn't save Coaching, which I did change Aqua Jet to at the end of the last video. Hopefully Coaching can help Black Kyurem go crazy with Scale Shot or something. And then I have some familiar faces if you've been watching this challenge. Power Barchaladon, Incineroar, Whimsicott, and this Swords Dance, Hisuian Samurott. Things are definitely dicey at this point. Last episode did not go very well, but let's hope that we can turn things around now. Did I not? I did specify the format. I don't know why Showdown's doing this, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's go. Episode 4. Okay, this is an interesting Miraidon team here. What's my rating at right now? 12, 14. Oh, yeah, last episode didn't go very well, huh? Didn't really make any progress from the previous one, but that's how it goes sometimes. Let's start timer. Okay. They don't have priority Tailwind. Their Tailwind setter, assuming they have one, is Pelipper. You'd think they'd have that, but that means I might be able to overwhelm them with Whimsicott and Kyurem right off the bat. So we'll try that. How do I beat Archaladon with this team? I actually think probably with my own Archaladon. And then the Chen Pao, maybe Samurott can help with that, or maybe it might be better to bring Urshifu. It folds against Miraidon, but it is stronger to the rest of their team. You know, it's at least competent to a decent number of their Pokemon. Alright, so they're leading Rapid Strike Urshifu with Miraidon. That's pretty bad for me. It's, yeah. Not very good. Okay. Do I want to Terrasilize Kyurem here? It turns off the Dragon weakness and the Fighting weakness, but it's still going to take a lot from neutral hits. And then it's weak to, well, no longer resists electric. It's weak to water. I don't really see the vision. I'm just going to hope that I can get... I'm just going to hope that I can knock Miraidon out before Kyurem goes down at least. Okay, well, good thing I didn't click Scale Shot, but that Terra is not what I want to see. It is possible if I get a crit to knock it out. No, it doesn't happen. And they just drop both my Pokemon immediately. Okay. Well, I still have Tailwind and they don't. I'm just going to hope that it's not a Focus Sash Urshifu and Electro Shoot it while my Urshifu tries to finish off Miraidon here. I do still have the speed and control advantage for now, at least. Of course, they can pivot Miraidon out and bring it back in, and then I probably just lose to that. But they don't. We do knock out their Urshifu. And Miraidon. Okay. Alright, some wild swings already in this first game. And they're going to set Rain here, so I can Electro Shoot again. And they've used their Terra. It could be Sash Pelipper. I'm going to Detect around that. Because I don't want to let Urshifu go down right now. I also haven't used my Terra yet, but... yeah. I don't want to let Urshifu go down when I might need it to threaten their Chaladon. So I don't want to take a Hurricane or an Electro Shot right now. And there's still one turn of Tailwind left after this one. They do let me Electro Shoot the Pelipper. And there's no Sash, it's just knocked out. Okay. Draco Meteor into our Chaladon, but that will lower their special attack. And I activate Sturdy. I feel like I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I activate Sturdy. But now I have +2 Terra Stellar Dragon Pulse into their Chaladon, along with Close Combat. Tailwind is still up. And it looked dicey, but it's after that first turn. But we do win the first game of this video. So what Pokemon am I getting from this opponent? First die roll of the episode. 3. That's Pelipper. Okay. You know what? I might actually be able to work with that, because I have a couple of water types already. What do I drop? Oh, and I have our Chaladon, too. I could change our Chaladon to, like, an Assault Vest set, now that I'm running Rain, if I want. But Power Herb's been pretty good. Yeah, I might want to make a few changes now that I'm getting Rain, which actually pairs nicely with Urshifu and our Chaladon. I kind of think the natural Pokemon to drop for Pelipper might be Samurott, but I also think dropping Whimsicott is actually pretty reasonable here. This is tricky. Certainly we don't drop Urshifu, or Chaladon, or Incineroar. I can close this now. I know that it's Pelipper that I'm getting. Certainly we don't drop Kyurem. That's a restricted Pokemon. Do like having priority Tailwind to pair with it, so I think Samurott might be the odd mon out here. I do already have a physical water-type threat in Urshifu. So I think that's okay. We'll send Samurott back down to the box. It's familiar territory for it. It's been kind of up and down for a while, like a low-end Bundesliga club or something. Okay. Pelipper. And I don't need to run Tailwind on Pelipper since I have Whimsicott. I don't have the Focus Sash available, but I might want to change Urshifu's set. I think I want to run a Choice Scarf, actually, now that I have Rain. So we'll bring back Aqua Jet and U-Turn or Coaching. I'll go U-Turn. Might help me pivot Pelipper in. I can keep the same Archaladon set, or like I said, I can go to an Assault Vest one. I think Assault Vest or Chaladon might be good in case I run into like another hard Trick Room team or something. So we'll do Stamina, we'll do Body Press. Terra... In Reg H they were running a lot of Grass, Fairy, some Bug, but Bug's probably not relevant anymore. I don't love Grass into like Ice Rider stuff, so let's try Fairy. Incineroar's okay, Whimsicott I think is okay, Kyurem, okay, Pelipper... I'm already using my Focus Sash and my Covert Cloak. Let's just give it a Rocky Helmet. Drizzle. I don't think I want to free up... No, I'm not using the Focus Sash anymore. I just took that off of Urshifu. Focus Sash. We'll do Weather Ball, Hurricane, Wide Guard, and Protect. Terra... Let's do Ghost. So that... It's not like... I mean, Pelipper's not... If Pelipper's not a Tailwind setter, I could just run Tailwind on Pelipper as well. I have 2 Tailwind setters, actually. And then they just play different roles. If I'm going hard into Rain stuff with Urshifu and Archaladon, then Pelipper can be a Tailwind setter. I can bring Whimsicott with Kyurem. I could run Muddy Water even for spread Pelipper instead of Protect or something. Muddy Water might be kind of nice, actually. I think this is okay. With the Focus Sash, I'm just gonna... Yeah. I'm just gonna make it hit hard. By Pelipper standards. This set's a little awkward, but we'll see how it goes. And we'll see how long Pelipper even lasts on the team. Could be gone soon one way or another. This is just another Miraidon Chien-Pao team. So it's a bit awkward to run into right now. Okay. Shall we just do the Whimsicott Kyurem lead again? And then definitely need our Chaladon. Now that it's not Power Herb or Chaladon, one thing that I've unfortunately done to myself here is I feel more of a need to bring Pelipper when I bring our Chaladon to a game. But into this team, I mean, Electro Shot is not necessarily that important. As long as I have other ways to deal with Urshifu. I think I'll just bring my own Urshifu again. And our Chaladon can still Dragon Pulse Miraidon or like Chien-Pao. Electro Shot's not hitting a lot of this team that hard anyway. Okay, this is not what I want to see, but it's not surprising either. Let's Tailwind and Protect. See what they lock into. I can consider trying to Moonblast the Miraidon after this. They actually just Volt Switch. Okay. They're trying to get rid of Whimsicott. Might not want to let them do that. Here's Iron Hands. Iron Hands is going to be a problem. I can read a Fake Out and switch Kyurem out to our Chaladon. It's a little aggressive, but I'm down to try. The problem is then, what do I do with Whimsicott? Do I switch Whimsicott out to our Chaladon? And just attack Tornadus, actually? I think I do like that a bit more. Because I want to get rid of Tornadus if I can. And I don't feel like I have room to switch both slots this turn. Okay, it's Stellar Fake Out, but it does... They do go into the Whimsicott slot trying to get the KO, so I get a stamina boost on our Chaladon from that. Don't know that that's going to be enough, but... especially with the Landorus coming in. I could Terrastalize our Chaladon. I do then have to watch out for Sludge Bomb, but... I think that could work, because I can Icicle Spear Landorus. They can't Terrastalize it. Kyurem should be faster in Tailwind than Iron Hands, at least. So I'll Terrastalize our Chaladon. I'll just throw a Body Press into the Iron Hand slot and try to hit Landorus with the Icicle Spear. Our Chaladon actually goes first. I forgot to change its EVs, didn't I? I just changed the rest of its set. So it's still max speed, our Chaladon. I probably should change that. We trade Kyurem for Landorus here. But yeah, the hope is that our Chaladon can close this out. I'd like to bring Whimsicott in, but I want to be able to get Tailwind back up, so I think I have to go Urshifu first. But I'll just go for the rain-boosted Surging Strikes into Iron Hands. And Body Press. Try to knock that Pokemon out and hope that I don't just lose to Miraidon after that. Discharge. Okay, so I'm just going to lose to Miraidon. Alright, well, I think I gave it a reasonable effort. Just Moonblast, Iron Hands, and drop. Okay. So that's a loss. What Pokemon am I losing? First loss of the video. The Pokemon to go is number 4, Whimsicott. Oh, it's definitely gonna be Tailwind Pelipper now. That's really sad. I mean, part of the point of a Nuzlocke challenge, right? The original Nuzlocke challenge is to make you more attached to your Pokemon and feel sad when you lose them. This is working. Whimsicott was the first Pokemon I picked up all the way back in episode 1 from the very first game that I played of this run. I've had it a long time. I mean, I've already lost all 4 starters, so it was the Pokemon that I'd had longest at this point. That's really rough. And what is taking over the 4th slot? Well, I already have an Incineroar on the team, so my options are Dondozo, I already have a Rapid Strike Urshifu, so Species Clause says I can't bring in Single Strike Urshifu, so I have to bring either Dondozo or Hisuian Samurott, and on this team I think that's a pretty easy choice. So much for being able to build up any drama there. Guess I have to do it this way. Delete it in the box and add it to the team. Why can't I add it to the team? Okay. I'm gonna pause the recording and figure out what's going on here. Okay, I had saved the team to the server, uploaded it to the server between recording sessions so that I'd be able to just bring it right back, and I thought that I had made a new copy of it and deleted the one that was, you know, stickier, but maybe I messed that up somewhere along the way. In any case, I have done that now. So Hisuian Samurott is back. Let's change our Chaladon's EV spread. Even though faster Chaladon was actually useful in that game, we want it to be able to take hits. Urshifu, or Chaladon, Incineroar, Black Kyurem, Pelipper, Samurott. Is there anything I want to change about Samurott? Oh, well, Pelipper needs Tailwind. So we'll do this. Now that I don't have a better Tailwind setter. I think I probably don't... I don't know if I have the team to run Swords Dance anymore. It's come in handy at some points, though. I'm going to keep it for now. Alright, and we got a serious rain team now. Let's see what we can do with that. Hopefully something good. Losing Whimsicott really stings, though. Okay. Shadow Rider balance, I guess? With a Bastardon thrown in. Looks a little bit weird on this team, but I think it's been obvious in this series that I'm not keeping up with the meta super closely right now. I don't have any events to go to in this format. Okay. All that aside, how do I beat Shadow Rider Calyrex? Well, maybe with Samurott, actually. I could try leading Pelipper and Samurott. That's pretty strong into anything except Raging Bolt. I'll bring Kyurem. That's my Raging Bolt answer at this point. And they don't have Tailwind, so I might be okay to... It's honestly not impossible that it's a Trick Room Shadow Rider on this team, but I might be okay to just bring Urshifu and try to overwhelm the Shadow Rider with that, instead of needing to slow my offense down by bringing Incineroar. They do lead Raging Bolt. Probably should have seen that coming. Well, let's be honest, I kind of did. But what I can do here, I guess, is try to Tailwind. I don't know if they'll let me, but I can Terrasilize and Swords Dance and hope that Samurott gets through this turn healthy enough to start doing some damage. There's a lot of crossing my fingers and hoping here, but I mean, the more this looks like a Regulation H team with a Black Kyurem instead of a Regulation G team, the more that's just how it goes sometimes. They taunt Pelipper. Then they go for Electro Web. So that's not going to do too much damage to Samurott, but of course I can't Tailwind or Wide Guard now. I think I'm going to risk trying to switch Kyurem in. It's possible they just knock it out with something, but it's also possible that they don't. So it's a 50-50, as they say. And let's just Ceaseless Edge the Raging Bolt. +2, hope that does good damage. Maybe the spikes come in handy. Wouldn't bet on that part, though. Okay, Detect Urshifu, but we do land the Ceaseless Edge into Raging Bolt. It does pretty good damage. They're Electro-Webbing. Of course, it's not lowering Samurott's speed because of the Clear Amulet, but Kyurem... Kyurem might just drop to a close combat or something here, but I'm down to try to get a Scale Shot into the Raging Bolt, get my speed back. No, I should probably... Let's try to Fusion Bolt the Urshifu, actually, and see if we can finish off the Raging Bolt here. They Thunderclap Samurott, does more damage than I'd like. We do knock out Raging Bolt, though. Urshifu's going to go next to knock out Kyurem. Well, I was kind of open to the possibility that I was sacking Kyurem there. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm getting Tailwind in this game, so hopefully my Scarf Urshifu can go crazy now that theirs has lowered defenses. But I'm going to Surging Strikes the Calyrex slot first. That Pokemon is so dangerous right now. I can't detect in front of... I can detect in front of Urshifu, actually. It denies Calyrex a boost if they get an attack off with that. But I kind of feel like I have to hope at this point that they don't get an attack off with Calyrex. So I'll just attack Urshifu. Yeah, okay, the Surging Strikes will KO Calyrex. What does their Urshifu do? Get knocked down to its Sash first. Surging Strike's back, but my Urshifu doesn't have lower defense. We know that my Urshifu is faster because theirs is not holding a Choice Scarf. We've taken away their priority on the Rage. Oh, they still have Rillaboom potentially in the back, so they might still have priority. Yeah, there it is. Alright, probably just lose to Rillaboom now, but I'll try not to. Hopefully one of these attacks will knock the Urshifu out. They actually just fake out my Urshifu this turn, which is honestly probably the best case here because they don't get any more damage than that off. And now Rillaboom can only target one of my Pokemon. Just throw a Ceaseless Edge at it. And of course Samurott is Urshifu is locked into Surging Strikes, and I don't want to switch to Pelipper on this. But yeah, alright, Samurott coming through. That's another win. GG. What Pokemon am I getting from this team? Shadow Rider Calyrex would be nice right now. Actually, Raging Bolt would be very nice too. Or even getting a Rillaboom again. So a lot of ways this can go right. But we get number 6, which is... It is Rillaboom. Okay. I have a Rillaboom again. And even though Hisui and Samurott won that game for me, I'm going to bench it once again. Because it's just not quite as strong as Rapid Strike Urshifu. Looks like I forgot to delete it from the box anyway, so... Yeah, it's just still there. But Rillaboom, once again, is coming into the lineup. We're just going to close this. We're just going to keep it very simple here. Woodhammer. I could consider high horsepower, but I don't think I want to on this team right now. And just keep the EV spreads very simple so I don't have to think too much about them, because the challenge will stop being fun for me if I do. Oh, I have 2 Assault Vests now. Miracle Seed Rillaboom? Or back to Power Herb or Chaladon? Let's go back to Power Herb or Chaladon. Wolf Click showed us we're not always playing in rain, right? Protect, and back to max speed. Okay. Alright. We got the 3 starters of VGC back. Rapid Strike Urshifu, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. Still not a good restricted Pokemon, but can't have everything you want, right? Maybe we can start to turn some things around here. Okay, this is an odd team. Probably want to lead Pelipper in something and just start blasting. I could even lead our Chaladon into this, maybe. Urshifu's alright too. Let's lead Pelipper Urshifu. And then... I think I bring our Chaladon. Taking a hit with Sturdy and firing a strong special attack back could be useful into a lot of these. And I'm thinking about Incineroar. I don't think I'm that sold on Kyurem in this game. I do have to watch out for the Annihilate if I bring Incineroar, but it could be like a lead Final Gambit Annihilate, so it might be that it removes itself quickly, and then I have something strong into Rillaboom and Zacian here. So we're going to leave the restricted Pokemon behind this game. It is a lead Annihilate, although leading with Zacian makes me think it's like Scarf coaching, maybe. So... let's just hit Zacian as hard as I can with this, and I'll go for Tailwind first, but if the Annihilate is clicking coaching, I want to get damage on it soon. But yeah, I think the speed control matters here, so. Start off a little aggressive here, but you have to do sometimes when you're playing from a disadvantage. Like, you didn't bring your Pokemon to this, or your restricted Pokemon to this matchup because it's not very good and the matchup is unfavorable for it. Okay, well that'll take care of the Zacian. So that's a good start. And I get my Tailwind now. Rock Slide from the Annihilate. Can't say I saw that coming. Too bad I turned off Urshifu's rock resistance, but it's not doing much anyway. Just throw a Surging Strikes at this Garganacl. It can Terrasilize, and I think it might well want to, considering that it's come into this position voluntarily. But yeah, let's also see what I can do to this Annihilate with a Hurricane. Terra Ghost, but okay, it's not weak to Surging Strikes anymore. It's still taking a lot of damage. And of course, it's not going to be able to protect against Urshifu. We can fuse the Annihilate with the Hurricane. That's kind of clutch. They can Salt Cure Urshifu if they want, but I'm just going to stay in and attack again. And should be able to remove the Annihilate here. Although, it might switch out, or it might not be choiced after all. We'll find out. It does switch out, but now I get a Hurricane into Rillaboom, and they left the Garganacl in. Rillaboom's just knocked out. Okay. And they forfeit. Okay, good. What Pokemon am I getting? D6 says number 2. Another Rillaboom. Doesn't hurt to have a backup. We'll just throw it in the box for now. Okay. And onward. This is going a lot like the Tub run in that I've only rolled a restricted Pokemon a single time. Which they said was kind of a flaw in the challenge, and that maybe there should be a way to get more restricted Pokemon. But, you know, the odds are what they are. They're just unlucky, and so was I, you could say. I actually do have a decent restricted matchup into this Ho-Oh, but how does the rest of the matchup look? Wait, Black Kyurem is actually pretty strong into the Ho-Oh Ting-Lu duo, isn't it? That's fun. I can lead it with Pelipper. Pelipper can threaten anything else, at least at first. And then I could bring Urshifu. It threatens. It's very threatening into half their team. It does have Wellspring Mask Ogerpon issues, but I can U-turn that. And I also can bring Rillaboom or Chaladon to help with the Ogerpon. And I think it's going to be our Chaladon. Our Chaladon is weak to Mienshao. It has issues with Ting-Lu, but it's pretty strong into a lot of the rest of their team. And it means I'm committing hard to my rain stuff here, which is maybe the strongest version of this team right now. So Black Kyurem and Pelipper against Mienshao and Ho-Oh. They can fake out, of course. I could Terra Ghost the Pelipper right now to get around that, but I'm not sure I want to commit that so soon, so let's just see if they let me. I also forgot to change our Chaladon's Terra type back to Stellar, didn't I? Oh no, I changed it to Electric. I think I do want Stellar. Okay. Although I haven't used either so far. Big fan of the shiny Ho-Oh. At this point, I probably have a recent video where I mentioned that it's my favorite shiny Pokemon. Maybe someday I'll hunt one in-game myself, but I don't have a ton of patience for shiny hunting, so legendaries especially are tricky. Terra Poison, okay. They just go straight for a close combat into Kyurem. Just absolutely fearless. Okay, I think I'll actually Terra Fire Kyurem here so it can't be burned by the Sacred Fire. And I think what I'll do is I'm concerned about a Focus Sash on the Mienshao, so I'll Icicle Spear that slot, and even though the Ho-Oh isn't a Fire type anymore, I should still be able to chip it with Weather Ball and Rain. Yep, if it had a Focus Sash, we just KO through that anyway. Still get decent damage into Ho-Oh. They Brave Bird Kyurem this time, maybe anticipating the Terra. It did some pretty good damage, actually. But here, I'll just go for... they can follow me if they want. But I'll just go for Icicle Spear and try to Hurricane the Ogerpon. They can't Terrastallize it, of course. I'll take a bit of time here. We'll see if they come up with a counter. And of course, I still have two very strong Pokemon in the back. They actually have Spiky Shield, so that'll avoid the Hurricane, but Ho-Oh will drop to this Icicle Spear. And I still have a turn of Tailwind, and they forfeit. Let's see what I get from this game. Number 4, Incineroar. Okay. Yeah, alright. So that's a funny thing about... I guess another quirk about this challenge starting with Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Rapid Strike Urshifu is those Pokemon are also common in the meta that you have decent odds of rolling them frequently. This is not the first time I've had 3 Incineroar available since the challenge started. And you can see I have one more in the dead box down here. But that's alright, that's how it goes sometimes. We'll get another game with this team. The Zamazenta. Whoa. It's a Zamazenta and some interesting stuff. Very Trick Room looking. Although not necessarily. It could be some tricky, weak armor, Armourouge stuff. Maybe you can side Sucker Punch it with Brute Bonnet. I think that's a thing. Maybe I could be mistaken. But I probably want to... I kind of want to lead Kyurem into this to try to use it to overpower and shut down a game plan like that. Obviously, Kyurem matches up badly into the Zamazenta, but I think we do lead Kyurem Pelipper here. We bring in Incineroar to help cover the Zamazenta, and I can think about our Chaladon, or I can think about Urshifu. And the more I look at this team, the more I think they're not running Trick Room, so the Scarf Urshifu to overwhelm them. Maybe I should have brought Rillaboom, because then I could change the terrain, but it's too late now. DD Armourouge. Okay, I might have been mistaken about what they're going for here. But let's just find out. I'm going to switch Kyurem out to Incineroar, I think. No, I want to knock out the Indeedee if I can. And Kyurem is more useful for this kind of thing than for playing against Zamazenta in the late game. So if they are, if these are slow, let's try to take advantage of that and get damage into them right now. So Icicle Spear Indeedee and Weather Ball Armourouge. Follow me. Does Icicle Spear KO? No, it doesn't. That's unfortunate. I would have really liked to land that Weather Ball into Armourouge, but they will get their Trick Room. I can, of course, start clicking Wide Guard now. I also can Terra Fire Kyurem if I want, but I think it's better to preserve the Terra Ghost for Incineroar, so I'll just Scale Shot into Armourouge and Wide Guard. That'll stop an Expanding Force play. I'd still like to remove Armourouge if I can. And if it actually is still a weak armor set after all that, then Scale Shot, being a multi-hit move, should be very useful here. Not weak armor. Okay. I really convinced myself at preview that it probably was. Okay, we lose Kyurem to the body press, but now I can get Incineroar in. I can't fake out because the Psychic Terrain is still up. I get tricked by Showdown visuals sometimes. It doesn't visually look like Psychic Terrain is up, except in this text here, but it is. So I'll just Terra Ghost and Will-O-Wisp Zamazenta and click Wide Guard again. The Wide Guard is pretty safe here. I thought about knocking off the Armourouge. No need as it switches out. Brute Bonnet will be a threat to the now Ghost-type Incineroar, but we get the Will-O-Wisp into Zamazenta, so Incineroar has kind of done its most important job already. I also can try to Will-O-Wisp the Brute Bonnet, and I think I'm down to throw a Hurricane at it too. I don't need to click Wide Guard right now because Armourouge is off the field and they're not threatening any spread damage anymore. At least that I can see. They can Spore Pelipper, that's fine. But we'll burn Brute Bonnet now. And now I can start clicking Knockoff with Incineroar. They can Iron Defense, but... Actually, maybe I should preserve Incineroar, because Incineroar should just beat Zamazenta, and maybe Armourouge as well. Incineroar is slower than Zamazenta, so I should be able to pretty safely Parting Shot Zamazenta. I'll try again to click Hurricane into Brute Bonnet. Incineroar is the safety goggles, so that Spore doesn't accomplish anything. And yeah, I think I'm willing to play a little bit riskily with Urshifu, because Incineroar is my win con, but also Trick Room is about to end, so Urshifu is the fastest Pokemon on the board, if they don't remove it now, and they don't. It's not going to have a Rain Boost on its Surging Strikes anymore, but it's still able to... Actually, I can even switch Pelipper out to Incineroar now with an eye to getting the Rain back up. Let's just get damage on Zamazenta, switch Incineroar back in, intimidate these Pokemon when they're already burned. Okay, they redirect the Surging Strikes, so we'll chip Brute Bonnet instead, but it's losing HP pretty quickly with that burn damage. Body Press doesn't quite knock out Urshifu. Yeah, I think I'm okay with just removing the Brute Bonnet if they click No, you know what? Let's get Pelipper in here, and let's click Knock Off into Brute Bonnet. They try to Sucker Punch the Urshifu. Brute Bonnet will drop the burn damage here. That forces Armarouge back in, and I can knock off that. And honestly, just click Weather Ball into Zamazenta, I think. They haven't Terra'd yet, have they? Which of my Pokemon is faster? Pelipper. Let's double into... I think it's a little bit safer to double into Armarouge to cover for a possible Terra. They don't Terra. Okay. But now they're down to just Zamazenta, and that shouldn't be able to beat... You know, at -2 attack, I think? Minus something attack and burned. It shouldn't be able to beat the rest of my Pokemon here. It does take out Pelipper. But now I get Urshifu in. Urshifu's faster with the Choice Scarf. I have Rain up. Surging Strikes will crit through their defense boosts. And Incineroar is still just chipping it as well. Surging Strikes actually knocks it out. Okay. And with that game, I have crossed 1,300 for the first time in the challenge, which means this is the end of Episode 4. Certainly went a bit more smoothly than Episode 3. But let's add a Pokemon to my team before wrapping this up. And it will be number 4. Brute Bonnet. Okay, that's interesting. What am I going to do with Brute Bonnet? I almost feel like the only Pokemon I can replace here is Rillaboom, but maybe I can replace Archaladon. I'm not doing that much with it right now, but I mean, that Rain Core of Pelipper, Urshifu, and Archaladon has been coming in handy so far. So I actually think I'm gonna drop, even though there's such a classic core here, I think I'm gonna drop Rillaboom for the Brute Bonnet. I still have Fire, Water, Grass. The Grass type's just a little unusual. So, yeah, let's move Rillaboom down to the box. And maybe I should drop Archaladon. No, I'm sticking to my guns. Brute Bonnet. Okay, what does Brute Bonnet do? Spore, Rage Powder, Sucker Punch. Gets Clear Smog, gets Close Combat, that's interesting. Pollen Puff, so it's very like a physical Amoonguss. Gets Taunt. Thought it might get Snarl, but it looks like it doesn't. I mean, I probably just... On this team, I probably just want to play it like an Amoonguss, right? So Spore, Rage Powder, probably Pollen Puff. I could just do an Amoonguss moveset and put Protect in that last slot. Is Pollen Puff even good on this team? Maybe not, because, like, what bulky Pokemon am I supporting? Sash Pelipper, Scarf Urshifu, Power Herb Archaladon. I don't think I need Pollen Puff. We're going to do Spore for sure. Rage Powder. And then we can take advantage of that Dark coverage. It could come in handy against a Shadow Rider Calyrex or another team like that last one. Let's look at Munch stats. See how people are running Brute Bonnet these days. I don't know how many people are, but... Okay, Seed Bomb and Sucker Punch are the other two most used moves. That does make a lot of sense to me. We could just stick to that. Rocky Helmet. Citrus Berry, Terra Water. I honestly don't hate even just copying this set. Munch stats exports can be pretty iffy, but honestly this one might be worth a go. If I copy this, what does Photosynthesis then boost? Defense? I mean, we're not going to get into that many, well, hopefully not, since I'm running Rain, that many situations where Photosynthesis activates. But I think I'm down to just try this Brute Bonnet set. Let's see how it goes. But of course, we're going to see how it goes on the next episode, because this one has reached one of its conditions to end. So, root on it, and I will see you next time.